union just checked in with me and verified it. So it's 3 o'clock. And good afternoon to everyone. It's really great to see everyone. Like I said, everybody looks so bright and colorful and energetic today, which is always a good sign, because we do have a lot to be thankful for, which we always do. That's the difference we bring to the table. So with that said, as we all know, this is a work session in preparation for the council meeting tomorrow. And we do not follow the process of voting on it. It's just in preparation for tomorrow. And I would like to ask that if there's any questions, even when we do now, and even when we get into the agenda for tomorrow, that we would ask questions for the sake of times. Again, I know I'm redundant with this. I do know sometimes we can't remember everything. Well, speaking on my behalf, I forget a lot of things that I think about, but we are grateful for this. And so at this time, the meeting is called to order, and I would like to call on Councilman Gordon to lead us with the invocation. Griff?
Let's pray. Dear Lord, we just thank you for this day, Father. We thank you for another day that we are blessed to just wake up, Lord, and to enjoy your creation, Father. I just thank you for everyone here and the role that we play in this city, in this community, most importantly in your plan, God. And I just pray that we continue to serve you and serve this city and serve this community to the best of our abilities. Lord, I just pray that in everything that we do, that we follow your will and in our hearts, Lord, for what we feel is best for the people that we serve. Lord, I pray for those who aren't here, Lord, with us, who are sick or with loved ones or have family members that are sick. Father, I just pray that you put a hedge of protection around them, Lord, that you know their needs, you know what's going on with them, Father. I just pray that you give them strength. Lord, I pray that we will just continue to understand, Father, that every day is such a wonderful blessing and a wonderful gift from you, and that we live it to the fullest, Lord, to serve you and to do your will. In Jesus' name, I pray all these things. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Councilman Gordon. Council, we do not have anyone that would like to address the council at this work session. So we will continue on. And at this time, I'd like to call on Angel for the Planning Commission for the November the 10th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting. Angel?
Yes, sir. We had two items of action. Councilmember Johnson, she took the oath of office and was approved to be on the Planning Commission. And then we also had up under new business, the reelection of officers, and Pat Howard was reelected as chairman. Jimmy Davis was reelected as vice chairman, and Miss Annie Lindsay was reelected as parliamentarian. That's all that we had.
Okay. All right. It was very procedural. Thanks, Angel.
Yes, sir.
At this time, I'd like to call on Melanie under the city clerk for the November-December 2020 calendar, as well as upcoming board appointments. Melanie?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to go over a few dates on November and December. Of course, tomorrow we have our council meeting at 9 a.m. By Zoom. On Thursday, the 19th at 10 a.m., there'll be a DRA meeting by Zoom. The Planning Commission meeting that was scheduled for the 24th has been canceled due to the holiday. We have the Thanksgiving holiday Thursday and Friday, November the 26th and 27th. When we come back from the Thanksgiving holiday, we have a work session on Monday, November the 30th at 3 p.m. Via Zoom. Council meeting the next day on December the 1st at 9 a.m. via Zoom. After that, in December, the next work session will be December the 14th at 3 with the council meeting December the 15th at 9. As far as I know, both of those will be by Zoom. The Planning Commission meeting that's scheduled for December the 22nd has been canceled due to the Christmas holidays. And then speaking of the Christmas holidays, that will be on Thursday and Friday, December the 24th and 25th. That was all the calendar events I had. And then the upcoming board appointments that'll come up on your next agenda on December the 1st. There's the Phenix City Russell County Library Board. Miss DuBois' appointments coming up. Hers will end in December, and she's willing to serve again if y'all wish to reappoint her. We had someone that had to resign from the library board because they want a seat on the school board. And I've had 2 names turned in so far for that position. I will reach out to these 2 people in the next week or so and get y'all a memo letting y'all know the status of that. So y'all can decide what you want to do December the 1st.
Okay.
That was all I had, Mayor.
Any question, council?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a statement here. Put it on notice here on December 2nd. That'd be another holiday. That'll be my birthday. Everybody gets a paid half day off.
Well, all right, Arthur.
I want to be off for pay.
Hey, listen.
I make $1,000 a day, so just shoot me that cash out, and I'll help you spend some of it on our birthday.
There are times you got to wag your tail, Arthur, and I see you doing it early.
Oh, Lord. Uh-oh.
I told you.
Arthur.
I told you.
That's that birthday wish coming in early.
Yes, I done heard it's your birthday.
Let me ask this question, council and city manager as well, or anyone as far as that goes. Have our taught, particularly you taught, has anyone been calling about the Christmas parade? The reason why I'm asking, I got a call last week, and I told them no, but I did, to make sure, to reaffirm myself, I did call Todd to make sure I told him correctly. So have anyone else been getting any calls in reference to that?
I have. But
Well,
I was unsure about it, so I didn't even respond. I told them I was unsure, and I will get back with them.
Todd, do you want to?
We've got a press release. I got with Mr. Hunter and them last week. We got a press release we'll be sending out to Miss Melanie this afternoon or in the morning to get out to the press, let everybody know that the Christmas parade and all Christmas activities have been canceled for the year.
Well, like I said, the person called me and I told him no, just, I guess, using a little bit of common sense, which sometimes can be dangerous. But after I said that, I just wanted to make sure I was correct. And then I did call Todd and he did clarify. So we appreciate that. Okay. Anything else, council? Any questions for us, the calendar or upcoming board? If not, we can go ahead and proceed into the meeting for tomorrow on the agenda. Any other questions or comments, council? Anyone? Okay. All right, proceeding on. And again, if there's any questions, let's try to ask them today, unless, we've forgotten something. But again, as Melanie has stated, tomorrow is our meeting at 9 o'clock by Zoom at 9, and so we'll be in our prospective places. I will call the meeting to order. The invocation will be done by Councilman Gordy, since we do not have any person who has committed to that. And as we all know, the process is the person that is praying also do the pledge, and if they're doing the pledge and someone has affirmed and don't show up, they do the prayer. So with this, Councilman Gordon, I will call on to do the invocation as well as the pledge. And we do not have any presentations or proclamations. So from that standpoint, council, we will get into our agenda, starting with the city clerk. It's the approval of the regular scheduled meeting minutes for November the 2nd work session, as well as November the 3rd council meeting. And since we were all there, I would like to ask, it's the pleasure of the council, we take this in one vote, and I will ask for a motion and a second to approve. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Then after that, I'd like to call for a motion and a second for the approval of the call meeting minutes for November the 2nd oath of office, as well as November the 2nd organization meeting. And we were all there. So at the pleasure of the council, I would like to ask that we take this in one vote. So I will ask for a motion and a second for approval, if that's okay with the council.
Okay.
That's fine. Mhm.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let me go back and ask about presentations and proclamations. If my memory served me correctly, I thought we were going to do the employee recognition at this meeting. Ms. Stephanie,
Yeah.
did it happen, or did my memory lapse on me?
We were trying to keep this agenda to the bare minimum, so we're going to do that on the first meeting of December. We'll catch everybody up then.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Thank you, Stephanie. So we will proceed under Senate Council. As we know, the unfinished business, if there's something we think of between here and yonder, would be the time to do so. And after that, on the resolutions, we will proceed with the administration of the resolutions. The first one is a resolution number 2020-266 to be ratified in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and the city manager to enter into an agreement to hold TUC Construction Incorporation harmless in connection with the installation of the 24-inch sewer line connecting to a 30-inch line crossing Opelika Road. You know, this is one that we've tabled in a couple of times, but we are ready to act on this. So I will ask the clerk to read this resolution, and I will ask for a motion and a second to ratify for approval. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
Only thing I'd like to ask is, Angel, how much longer will it be on this particular thing here before it's finished to be opened up, Angel? Do you know?
The actual bridge, Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
We are shooting for the middle of January, but you know, of course, we are in the winter season, so I don't want to excite anybody. So we still need to think about weather limitations. So
Right.
we are pushing the contractor hard for the middle of January.
Okay. I had a few businesses on the other side to ask me, and I told them we were probably within 60. I told them we were probably about 60 days out, something like that. So it sounded like I was pretty close, just guessing at it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds
Thank you,
good.
Steve. And we know that's a moving date too. We can't.
Oh yeah, I told them that. Told them it was that we were under everybody else's plan there, that as long as the workers could show up on time, everything showed up. We didn't run into any problems. The weather all cooperated. That everything fell in line, just like building a house. That everything's done in stages, and the person has to finish before the next one can do. So I just want to give them some kind of idea, and that they were kind of thinking the same thing. So they're not expecting it any quicker, and they know that it can only get done as quick as it can, and they know we want it done as quick as we can also.
Okay.
And
Thank you
one
again.
question, if I may. So we are holding this construction company harmless in connection with this. What is the probability of something drastic happening, after it's all repaired and, the bridge is operating efficiently? What type of, I guess, some type of time frame, or not really a time frame, but what will the future of this line going in, how long are we anticipating it working with the lines being connected, the 24 and the 30? So we can say, 5, 10, 20 years, it'll work, or we repairing it so that it'll be done correctly.
So, Ms. Johnson, this line, it doesn't have anything necessarily to do with the actual bridge structure. This was just some utilities that we were trying to move as we were doing the bridge. So currently in existence, there is a 30-inch sewer line already out there. We were going to relocate that line and move it up a little bit so we would be out of so close to the bridge abutment. Utilities did misidentify the existing line. They labeled it as a 24-inch. So our new line that got installed per the contractor was a 24-inch line. So we made the decision to keep the 30-inch line in service, which we have had no problems with to date. So we also added additional capacity while adding the new 24-inch line. So if there's ever anything that happens in the future, you've got basically a bypass either with a 30-inch line or the 24-inch line. I mean, we don't expect these lines to, deteriorate or be something wrong with them anytime soon, because one of them is a new line and we haven't had any trouble with the old line. But this just gives us some extra flexibility if there was a stoppage, to where we could bypass one line until we could get the stoppage out.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions or comment, Council?
Well, basically, I think what you were saying is The 30-inch, the original 30-inch line originally was probably going to be omitted, taken out, and then we realized it was too close to the bridge to have to mess with it. Is that kind of the way that worked?
We realized, Mr. Bailey, that the 30-inch line originally was labeled as a 24-inch in the plans.
Yeah.
So basically, the contractor had bid on and already installed the 24-inch line before it was found out that it was a 30-inch line. So there was no problem with the existing 30-inch line. We were just going to move it for future reasons. So that's why we're just going to keep that one in service and still have the 24-inch line in service also. So we are in no way diminishing capacity of that sanitary sewer. We're actually, putting in another 24 inches in that area.
We're really going to be fortunate, like you said, if something does go down on one of them, to have the other one fall back on. So
Yes, sir.
basically, it really worked out a little bit better doing it this way, in my opinion. Yeah.
And we all, let's not forget is, what the GIS said, and Angel, correct me if I'm wrong, that's what they bid it on. But again, as Steve and of course it has been stated, it's just, double protection for us going forward. It's not a bad thing. You can.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Proceeding on. B, we have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city managers to make application for grant assistance from ALDOT for resurfacing Dobbs Drive from Auburn Road to Opelika Road. We will ask the clerk to read that resolution, and we'll ask for a motion and a second for approval, council. Okay, any questions, comments, or discussion? Okay. Proceeding on, under administrations, is a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city managers to enter into a contract with Charles F. Haynes Jr. for the purchase of property located at 1109 and 1113 Fifth Avenue and 1110 and 1112 Broad Street in an amount not to exceed $850,000. We'll ask the clerk to read that, and this is the one I reached out to everyone, and we need to keep this confidential again, but it will between now and tomorrow. And so we will ask for a motion and a second for the approval of this.
We don't need to elaborate on that tomorrow or say anything about that tomorrow on camera.
Well, it's just that we're going to talk about the purchase price on it. But between now and then, things can happen. Chances are it won't, but it needs to, be confidentially until tomorrow. Some people may be watching us now. I'm not sure, but again,
Mayor, Mayor, I had the opportunity to, had my opportunity took time last week and rode over that property right in that area. That's a nice piece of property. I think we did real good in trying to purchase that for the city. And plus the downtown location too.
Well, it fits the plan what we have in the future.
Yeah.
And if, we can't get it done now, there'll be some people who come after us with,
that's right.
Happen, but you got to take ownership of it. And Mr. Honey, anything you want to expound on that?
No, sir. It was just part, like you say, it's part of the plan. And we've been fortunate to be able to put aside the funds to be able to accomplish this purchase. So it's some more properties that we are looking at also that's going to meet the future plan.
Yeah. Well, the council, we did talk about a group. I think we went in the executive session, and that's why I'm not calling out the name, because I'm not sure. But I just want to err on the side of caution as if we didn't. But, we did talk about a group moving from Columbus to over here, and I know for a fact that they were talking about paying way more than that for some of that property over there. So it's a good job, Mr. Hunt. I think it's a good price, and for us to meet our comprehensive plan, I think it's a good opportunity for us. And
and at the right location too, Mayor.
Yeah. So
let me ask you this. That's one where he's going to finance part of that for no interest. Isn't that correct?
No, sir. No, sir. We changed that. We looked into the capital revenue that we had. And instead of doing that, that's some revenue that we can save. So we're going to pay the whole thing at closing.
Okay, good.
That may have been, Steve, but at that
Yeah, that's
one,
what I mean. I think that was the way I was originally.
yeah, when
thinking
I
of it.
communicated to everyone, it was to pay a difference over X amount of years with no interest.
Correct. That's what I was thinking. Right.
Correct, Mr. Hunter?
Yes, it changed a couple of times.
changed.
Anytime you get into something like this, when you're dealing with real estate, it changes sometimes. So the best thing in this particular, knowing from the beginning it was going to change, was already prepared to pay the whole thing if it changed.
Right.
So
Good.
it
That's
depends
good.
on who was trying to help who and get that taken care of as far as the acquisition of the property. And that's the way we tried to build these funds to achieve the goal that we are trying to get to at this point in time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a good buy.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Any
Well,
other questions? Comment?
Mr. Hunter,
Yes, sir.
let me ask you this then. I know we gained that property right there, which is like I said, in good location and a nice piece of property. The property that the city owned, you know, like the different lots and stuff like that. And we trying to do anything with some of that, sell some of that, recruit some of that finance back, some of that.
Yes, sir. We have some that we are negotiating with right now that Sean handling with some prospective buyers right now.
Okay.
But we
All
do
right,
have
good.
some that we also have out there that we market from time to time, but
Yeah.
you know, to try to get it back on the tax roll. But when it comes to the large parcels and the things that we trying to do, we're very quiet about that, and we should be, because there's some things, you know, is dealing with land with the state, and there's some things we put in place a decade ago in agreement with them to be able to handle right pieces of property that we have throughout the city that we see that we can use for something. We don't just pick up anything, and this particular thing, with this particular acquisition, it was good because we got the move from the public safety building that we got to make, and we got to move a lot of things over there. We got to have parking and everything else. So
yeah,
everything hit right on time as to make this. We're moving our court, as y'all know. We got to move it for a certain specific amount of time. So T. Smith and Miss Ruby and the team that they have together that's working with them, all them working on this move that we got to make, and that's going to be a big move in a few months. We're going to go through that, you know, moving dispatch and moving different people over, but we have a lot of files and a lot of things that we're going to have to move and take care of and look at it now. We're going to use this, a lot of it, like I say, for different purposes. I don't want to say all the different things like that, to make sure everything is secure and put in place, you know. So it worked out. The timing seemed to work out perfect.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
But you don't anticipate on moving the entire system all at once. Isn't it going to be done in phases?
We got it lined up we got it lined up in the steps. The chief got it already lined up where we got to move the different things as far as storage, as far as dispatch and everything else. It's all set already.
Okay.
Any other
All right,
questions? Comment? Thanks, Wallace.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Proceeding on the resolution and administration is a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and the city manager to enter into a contract agreement for professional services between the Phoenix City Housing Authority and the Phoenix City Police Department. Council, I will ask the clerk to read that resolution, and I will ask for a motion and a second for approval, which is, you know, pretty much standard that we've been doing since 2014, I think.
Yeah.
Not correct.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Okay.
Any
All
comments or discussion on that? Okay. Proceeding on the E is a resolution in reference to adopting the East Alabama Regional Multi-Jurisdictional Hazardous Mitigation Plan, Phase 1, 2020. We'll ask the clerk to read that, and we'll ask for a motion and a second for approval. Okay. Any comments, questions, or discussion?
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Hunter, I looked at some of this, and Can you get somebody to elaborate on that for a little bit, just for me and nobody else? But because you know, is all the on this plan? I know you said it's sort of standard. That's something we do, but all that includes the hazard, the flood area in our city, and the surrounding areas in this plan too. Is that right?
Yes, sir. It's linked to, it's a living document. It's always adjusted and updated. And it's something that we have to work on to make sure in place so they can receive grants throughout. But I've asked the chief to update you on what they worked on. Both chiefs work on that, fire and police and the whole work. So Chief, you want to talk on it?
Yes, sir. We can address that. Both fire department, Parks and Rec, engineering, we've all worked on this project, and it's an ongoing project. Like Chief Hunter said, it's a living document. It covers, like you said, floods is what people think of mostly when you think about disaster mitigation. It really includes everything from hurricanes to tornadoes to sinkholes to thunderstorms. So anything that you can imagine, we keep track of all the storms and damages that happen throughout the year, and through EMA, they of course compile these records, and they compile what's happening, and they make sure that we are having a plan to be able to respond to those. So anytime that we respond, we have an after action meeting. But the federal law requires us to update this plan on a 5-year cycle. And phase one it really just identifies Russell and Lee. So Russell and Lee is phase one. Some other counties are in phase two, and other counties are in phase three. And about every 5 years, it recycles and we do it all again. So it's constantly being reviewed every year. But not only is it, this phase is just for Russell Lee, but once the phase 2 counties and the phase 3 counties get theirs done, we will of course plug in regionally, and that region is Region D, and it runs all the way from Montgomery to where we are, up through Tallapoosa and down through Barber. So it's
Barber, yeah, I saw that.
we want to make sure that we keep this thing up to date, because it's not going to do us any good, because the goal of this is to help us respond to any disaster, and it includes things like making sure that we've got our debris picked up on the side of the road before a storm, or that we don't allow people to build in flood areas, because then we'll have to go and rescue them because their house will wash away. So, and we have to have this in place and this plan in place, and it's an exercise that we do. We train for this plan, and we have to have this in place to, of course, apply for FEMA money. Anytime there is a disaster, we want to make sure that we're able to apply for reimbursement when there is a disaster, and that whatever damages that we do incur are mitigated. And that's exactly what the whole project's about.
Okay, Chief, let me ask you this then. Okay, I know when I came aboard, there was a certain area in District 3 that was already built in a flood zone. Was that plan on effect then?
It does. It identifies them, and it helps us know where those places are. So when we do have heavy flooding, or we do know there's going to be heavy flooding, we can evacuate those areas again. It's just a foresight. I've got 32 years experience of seeing what floods and what don't flood in Phenix City. So when I get notice from EMA and Bob calls me and says, we're going to have, 4 inches of rain, I can pretty much tell you, and so can Chief Hunter and Chris Kennedy and Angel and her department. We can tell you where the flood is going to be. And so we go to those areas, and we're proactive about getting folks out of those areas. But that's just one phase of this. It includes windstorms. It tracks every tornado we've had over the last 25 plus years. Anything that you can think of, sinkholes, and
droughts.
Hey, can I add that we did go back in and include dams in this plan? For quite some time, dams were not in our hazard mitigation plan. So we did not have a mechanism through FEMA to apply for any mitigation money for our dams. So this one, we made sure that they did go back in and add that as one of our priorities.
Yeah, I saw that part. I saw that about the dam. That also, with this plan put together, seemed very good from what I can understand. I don't know much about it, but I read some of it and scanned some of it. Looks real good, and that will help us get these different grants and stuff when those storms and stuff occur. Is that right?
Exactly. That's the main purpose of it, not only to help us mitigate it, but to make us eligible for FEMA funding, for sure.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You gonna let Melanie read the plan, Mayor?
No, I wasn't there. No way. I wouldn't do that to you, man.
She told me she said I put a novel in y'all booklet. I said I saw that novel.
Oh Lord.
I'll let her start reading. She'll be finished by tomorrow evening.
No, not tomorrow evening, next week sometime. But Miss Melanie, if you would, when I turn in my book, I would like to have a copy of this comprehensive plan placed in my basket, if you wouldn't mind, when you get a time.
Yes, ma'am, I'll do that for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you acting like you gonna read it.
Any other questions or comments?
It's good nighttime material. It goes sleep. Unless you're a fire
Okay.
police, then it makes it.
Proceeding on the ordinance, we have a first reading. It's an ordinance to exempt certain items from the municipal sales and use tax during February 2021, referred to as the severe weather preparedness tax holiday. We'll ask Mrs. Lee to read that, put on first reading, and I will ask for a motion and a second council to place on first reading.
Okay.
Questions, comments, or discussion? This is
This
do
standard.
this every year, standard.
Yeah.
We do it every year.
You do it every year.
Okay. Any comments, questions, or discussion?
I'm good.
Okay. Proceeding on the board appointments. We have 5 openings. The Housing Code Abatement Board, which we tabled at the last meeting, and trust and hope that we've turned in names. And Melanie, have we good to go with this? Have we gotten all names turned in?
I haven't turned in a name.
I have turned mine in.
I've got a question.
Okay.
Is this one where can I contact somebody first and make sure they're willing, or no with this one? Do I need to just give you a name?
I had asked if y'all would go ahead and contact, because tomorrow y'all really need to go ahead and get these people appointed. This board needs to move on. So if whoever, if you're going to reappoint or appoint, whichever way, if y'all could just touch base with that person and make sure they're good with it, so that tomorrow y'all can appoint or reappoint, and this board can move on. So I did ask if y'all could do that. That would help me out.
And Griff, did you have a question?
No, that answers my question. I just have to reach out
Yeah,
to somebody nice. I can't reappoint the person that was in my spot, because he
exactly.
served 2 consecutive terms. So I'll just try to find somebody tonight.
And I fall in that same category also, Griff. But normally we don't contact the person, and typically, let me see how I want to say this. And I don't want to demean, I don't want to sound it or it be perceived that it's demeaning, but there's boards that are, let me say, maybe a little bit more mission critical to the city than other boards, or different levels, let me say that. So I would think that this is one of those boards at the level that we can reach out. And the reason why we pretty much put in place that we don't reach out is because it can put a council member in a corner individually as well as collectively as a council if a person is not appointed. Do that make sense? What I'm saying, I'm trying to be as sensitive as I can. And I don't think this is one of the boards that could do that.
No,
Am
sir.
I correct?
If I could, this board, each one of you are responsible for the one person being appointed
Exactly.
in your district. So that would be the difference right there. Whereas other boards, it's a collective thing.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important that on those type boards, we don't contact the person, because it can, if I'm collectively as well as individual, if they're not appointed, it could really kind of push back on the council of us not being on the same page. So that's why there's certain one that we just need to turn in the names and get out of the way. But this is one that is different because
Mayor,
it does come from each one of us.
Mayor, may I say something on that?
Yes, sir.
It's like Melanie, just on this particular board, this is one where you have to make initial contact to see if a person willing to.
Yeah.
But when it comes to all the other boards also, when people contact or say something, it should be, I'm just turning your name in. It's going to be a multitude of names in there, so it may not be picked. And it's as simple as that. No one should think that just because the name is turned in, but because it's not a direct appointment like this particular one is, as far as asking a person from that particular district. So in all the other ones, that could have been simplified a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because just because you turn the name in don't mean that everybody's gonna vote for that particular name and stuff, and it can stop some of the confusion if somebody already know that they may be chosen or they may not be.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to pick it back on what you said, Mr. Hunter, at the risk of being redundant here. When I turn this particular person's name in, I said, the only thing I want to do is turn your name in and your phone number. The city clerk will get in touch with you. You know, that's what I told him. That was it.
Yeah.
One of the things, though, Mr. Hunter, and to the mayor and to Griff as well, the mayor and Griff could pick from throughout the whole city. Anybody that didn't want to serve on their board.
Yeah, that's true.
Correct. That's correct.
True. But, you know, it's 5 of us, so each one of us have a person we can. If not, we certainly can do that. That's another caveat, but, you know, typically we allow each council.
And to say something that, Mayor, you talked about the mission critical, when it comes to the building department, this particular board is critical because it can hold up some of their actions as far as having the meetings for people to get either approved or not in different areas. Am I correct, Gil?
That's correct, Mr. Hunter. And this is an important board. I think it's the only one that actually the terms end and coincide with the council terms. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did reach out to the one that I appointed last time because he's only served 4 years, and he said he would, you know, serve again. So I went ahead and reached out, like Griff said a while ago, just to make sure that he was willing to serve again.
Yeah.
Because I knew that this was a particular appointment per 5 of us, you know, putting in one name apiece, basically. So I went ahead and kind of did it the way Melanie said it was all right to do.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. So, Griff, if you can, like we may have some time where you can reach out today and reach back out to Melanie.
Yeah.
And then in the morning before we can kind of decide who's going to make the nominations and all of that.
I can do that.
Okay. Is that all minds clear, council?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Proceeding on the license application. This is a second reading. It's an application for an on-premise beer license, on-premise wine license, off-premise beer license, and off-premise wine license submitted by Hike Horning of Sticks and Stones LLC, doing business as the Castle HOF, located at 502 Martin Luther King Drive, Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway, Phenix City, Alabama. First reading was on the 3rd, but I am going to ask for a motion to deny this, council, for the fact that that person is changing addresses for this new business. So it has to start all over again. So we will have the first reading whenever it comes to us, and then we will have the second reading. Am I correct, Mrs. Lee?
Yes, sir. That I just wanted to say on November the 10th, that was on Tuesday, last Tuesday, I received a phone call from the owner. And they were saying that they were going to change locations, and so they didn't really need to get the licenses at this location. So I asked him to get me a letter to that effect, and he did. He turned it in on November the 13th. I think that was part of your pack. But Chief Smith, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what they're going to need to do is deny these licenses because they're not going to be at this location, and then the Castlehoff will need to reapply at the new locations with this city.
Yeah.
And the process starts all over. It's a first reading and a second reading, or the place reading and a second reading.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Chief Smith.
That's correct.
Chief Smith, the proposed location is 711 13th Street. Can you where that is for me, please?
It's right next to the music shop, right down from Mr. Bowden's real estate. They've already got a little German
Yes.
Store. It'll be in that location, and of course it'll depend on code enforcement. But as far as the background stuff, it would be the same at the Martin Luther King location, so I don't have an issue with that. But they'll have to look at the coding of that building they're on. But it's right there on 13th Street, right down from 12th Avenue.
Yes. Okay. The German. Yeah. Thank you.
It's located between Hammocks and the music shop.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Melanie. Any other questions or comments? Okay, proceeding on is Jimmy out there or Jim McCoon?
Yeah, I'm out here.
You can say it with a
There
little
you
bit
are.
more enthusiasm. Sound like you in some pain.
I am in a little bit, but I'm getting through it.
Oh,
Okay, we've got two claims on the agenda today. The first is a notice of claim filed by Greg Davis Law on behalf of Dennis Andrews. Mr. Andrews is involved in an automobile accident with a city vehicle. They didn't send any estimates or anything, but just from the tone of their notice of claim, I think these are going to be difficult people to work with. What I would like to do is get y'all's permission to contact Mr. Davis on behalf of the city and try to negotiate a settlement. There's no doubt that we are liable on the accident, but instead of denying it for lack of 3 estimates, no, I just ask y'all's permission to contact Mr. Davis and see what we can work out. If we can't work out anything, then I'll get Melanie to put it back on the agenda and we'll deny it if
Okay.
they don't want to comply.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea there, Mr. Graham.
Yeah, you'd rather start off on a positive attitude with them than a negative attitude with them.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Permission granted.
Okay, and the next claim is filed by Taquisha Slaughter. Miss Slaughter was on 431 South at Rainbow Foods. Her windshield was cracked by a flying object. You've got the Angel's memorandum stating that on that date, Public Works Limb Debris Division had a crew in the area working. You've got the police report. Ms. Slaughter turned in 3 estimates. The lowest being $207.10 to Stevens Auto Glass. My recommendation is to approve the claim for that amount.
Okay, thank you, Jim. So council, we all on the same board?
Yes, sir.
Mayor, could talk about one other thing?
Sure.
All right, I received today, and you're going to receive it if you hadn't already, this Ken S. Nugent claim where this guy's alleging that one of our police officers was pursuing this woman and that she wrecked in his client's or her client's vehicle. The chief and I talked, and the chief determined that the sheriff's department was in pursuit of this vehicle. We only worked the accident. The attorney from Ken Nugent's office is a lady named Anastasia. Hold on, let me get to it. Anastasia L. Alexander. What I'd like to do, instead of going ahead and putting this on an agenda, I'd like to call her and inform her of that and see if they want to withdraw the claim and submit one to the county. It'll just save some time and energy if we can do it that way.
Okay.
Have you gotten your copy, Mayor?
Yeah, but I just got it since
Okay.
I had a chance to read it, but I do have a copy here. And I was looking for that name, but I see the Klimatovics,
Yeah.
the impact on him, but I don't, I hadn't had a chance to read it.
Right, and like I said, the sheriff's department was pursuing this woman and not us.
Well, that's taking us out of it then.
Yes, sir, and I just want to see if they'll withdraw the claim.
Yeah.
If not, I'll direct Melanie to put it on the next agenda and we'll deny it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
All
y'all.
right. All right. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Wallace, anything? It's good to see you. Anything that you need to discuss or go over?
Yes, sir. I asked the chief to give a report for me. Chief Kennedy.
Yes, sir. Chief Hunter wanted me to just give some updated information on COVID-19 for Phoenix City and Russell County per se. Currently, we get updated information probably every other day from Bob Franklin with Russell County EMA. Currently in Russell County, as of 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this morning, the state of Alabama has 219,002 positive cases. That's 18,518 cases within the last 10 days. So from, like I said, 11/6 to today at 11 o'clock this morning, we had an additional 18,518 cases. So for whatever it's worth, the virus isn't going away. The corner we turned is just getting worse. Nationally, while I was waiting for us to go on Zoom, numbers come up on, depending on what, I guess, whatever national TV news station that you watch. There were 11,101,090 cases, and within 10 minutes, there were 11,114,151 cases with 246,758 deaths. There were 74 additional deaths in just that few minutes we were waiting to go on Zoom. So this virus is something, it's horrible, it's bad. And I just hope that everybody out there will pay attention to what the governors and the health professionals say, and wear your mask, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Stay 6 feet apart if you can. You know, I guess I'm with Chief Hunter's blessing. I've not done anything where the fire department is concerned. Those guys, all they do is go on calls. They answer the calls of the citizens, but as far as anything outside of that, I'm blessed so far, knock on wood, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to eat my words after I say this, but we have been truly blessed. And but it's because we're paying attention to what the health professionals say, and trying to do the best we can to protect ourselves and our workers, and get the job done. So is that all you would like for me to say, Chief? Or
That's good. I appreciate it. I just got one more thing to say.
Yes.
Melanie, I wasn't at the last meeting looking at the agenda books, and when I got my book and started going through it, and your new setup on it is beautiful. It's laid out real nice, real good. I think you did an excellent job on the book. So I appreciate that, and glad to see everybody. That's it, man.
Yeah,
We're glad to see you.
Glad to see you, man.
Yeah, we glad to see you, Mr. Hunter.
Thank you.
So if there's anything else before we adjourn, as we know, 9 o'clock in the morning by Zoom.
Yeah, let me ask Chief Kennedy. You said there was 18,000 new cases. Is that in Alabama?
yes, sir. Alabama.
In 10 days. In
Yes,
10
sir.
days.
10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's information that we need to, people need to know. I know it scares people to death, but what you just reiterated on, people need to realize that instead of being better off, as all of us hoped we'd be and thought we would be by now, we're not.
Mm-hmm.
And that, the holidays are coming up. Family's going to be traveling, I'm sure, to see other people. But, really and truly, if you can stay with your immediate family that you've been around this whole time, this is going to be a holiday that you really don't need to see a lot of the cousins and aunts and uncles and all that don't live in your household. It really is just that way.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I agree with
hate
you,
to say
Steve.
it that way because it could be somebody's last Thanksgiving and Christmas, but it could also, because of the COVID, it can make somebody be their last Christmas or Thanksgiving.
You know,
You're right.
And the numbers, one thing I did forget, and I don't know how I forgot that, but the numbers are only supposed to increase by double. I mean, they're projecting over 300,000 deaths by January. So if it doesn't get under control. So you're right, Mr. Bailey, and I'll have that to deal with in my own household. My mother's very upset because I won't have a family gathering, but I'm just adamant about this stuff is too dangerous.
We
Well,
have to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Bailey. On yesterday, they are preparing right now at my brother's house out there in Columbus. All the family coming over there. I'm staying home. They doing turkey and everything, but I'm staying home. I'm staying home.
I mean, you know, this is nothing normal about this, so you can't treat it as normal, and it's just one of those. It's a plague. It's worldwide. It's not just here in Phenix City or Alabama or the Muskogee County, the Bi-City area, or whatever. And anybody traveling from anywhere, I don't know how long it takes you to know whether you got this or not, or you come down with it.
Yeah.
Probably most people survive it, but there's always going to be someone that's not going to survive it, and no one should have the right to put that person in jeopardy on purpose. And by not knowing, you can, test negative, and all of a sudden you test positive and you didn't know. And it's just, there's no false feeling to security right now. It's just, you almost have to treat it like it's at your doorstep and it's trying to get in that door every day.
Yeah. All right.
Let's all be mindful and careful.
Yeah, that's all we can do. One day at a time.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
if I could, I just want to tell Mr. Hunter, thank you for those comments about the book. But I want to share the glory because I asked the ladies to do new books for everyone, but the ladies in our office were the ones that took care of that for me. And I really need to pass that praise along to them because they did a great job.
Good.
It's real, very, very colorful too. The tabs.
Yeah, they do look good.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me that you just liked me better than everybody else and got me in you. Now
Hey.
I find out I ain't no different than nobody else.
She's been hearing us talk about consistency. Well, thank you all so very much. If that's not anything, by the grace of God, we'll see everyone in the morning by Zoom at 9 o'clock. And so if we can, maybe get on there a little earlier before we actually have the meeting to discuss, if we can, the board appointments. Who's going to make the nominations and the nominees and all of that. Okay?
All right.
Yeah.
What time you gonna try to get on?
Y'all think 10 minutes to 9?
Yeah.
Would be good enough? Long
10
enough?
minutes. 10 minutes good, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Day. We do stand adjourned, and you all be careful.